This is the Old Guy Network.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
Watch out for your cornhole, bud.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Old Guy Network. I'm the old guy, the OG. Jay, you know who you are. Well, it's time. We're going to make a cornhole game. I'm going to show you how to do it. And let's not waste any more time. Let's go right to the shed.
Well, here we are back in the shop, right where I belong. And today we're talking about how to build a cornhole game. Well, here's the backside of the one that I made. You can't really see it too well here, but I'm going to show you just how to make one of these, if I can figure out where to look. I'm going to show you how to put these all together. And the first thing we're going to need is some 2x4s. You want to cut your 2x4s to, two of them have to be 48 inches, and two of them are going to be 21 inches. So when we're done with our frame, it's going to be 48 inches by 24 inches. 2 foot by 4 foot. Simple, right? The first thing you want to do is we get our 2x4, and right up here, right about there, we countersink our holes. Now keep in mind I'm doing this one-handed. Now that one's a little off, but yeah, I'll fix that. But you get the idea. Just countersink 2 holes at the top, and then do the same thing to the bottom. Have both 48-inch 2x4s with countersunk holes. Then when we put this all together with our 2-inch decking screws, we'll have enough bite into the wood so that the frame will be stable. Now I've already gone ahead and put these together, because you don't really need to see me do that, do you? No, I didn't think so. So there's our countersunk holes on our 48-inch piece, all the way down there. And basically, you just connect this to this. I've actually put some glue in there, added my deck screws, and now I have a nice, straight 2 foot by 4 foot frame. The next thing you want to do is your 2 foot by 4 foot sheet of plywood. And we have that right over here. Now I could have just bought a sheet of plywood, then I could have cut it in 4 equal parts, and then had 4 2 foot by 4 foot sheets. My table saw is not that big, and I could do it. I could do it with a skill saw, but you know, what I did was I just bought 2 foot by 4 foot sheets. It cost a little bit more to do it this way, but it's a heck of a lot better, and it's pretty square. So, you know, that's the way I chose to do it. That's why you don't see me cutting that. So let's drill our holes and countersink some holes in the plywood and put in the deck screws. Oh, let's go over here. The sun will be behind us. Oh, look at that, much better. So we just place our 2x4 sheet of plywood right on top. Then I'm going to countersink some holes and add the deck screws, and that part will be finished. So I go about 1 inch from the edge, and roughly 1.5 inches this way. As long as you get into the wood frame, it doesn't really matter. Now what I'm going to do is go to 16 inches, 32 inches, and then end up 1 inch from the edge. All right, the next thing we have to do is make the circle. Gonna make a hole. And if I had a hole saw, it'd be a lot easier, but I don't. But even if I had a hole saw, I'd still have to do this part. You want to make sure that the center of the circle is 9 inches from the top, and it wants to be directly in the middle of the board. So you go 12 inches in, because remember our board is 24 inches wide, so you go 12 inches in, and then 9 inches to the top from the center of the circle. And this is where a speed square comes in pretty handy. This speed square is 12 inches wide, perfect, and we can go right to I'm having a hard time placing this here. Just go right there, and then we'll double check it with the tape measure. I brought this inside, it's a lot easier to see it, so we check it with the tape. We've got 12 inches that way, and we got 9 inches that way, so that means right in the middle of that little plus sign right there, that's where we want to add our little device that I made. First thing we're going to do is put a screw right in here, right in the middle of that mark. And then we're going to take this, and all I did was drill 2 holes in here, one for the pencil, the other one for the screw, and they're exactly 3 inches apart. That way when we put this in here, oh, I'm sweating on the cornhole. Those are words I never thought I'd say. Ow. Okay. So now we want to find that hole. There it is right there. Go ahead and put that in as best you can. Hold the pencil down. Is it a perfect circle? No, but I'll try to make it a perfect circle afterwards. So now we just got to drill another hole and then cut it out with the scroll saw. Some people refer to this saw as a scroll saw, some a jigsaw, some say a saber saw. I don't care. It's whatever you need to have it. So now we just cut our hole. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some files and try to clean up this hole a little bit, make it a little more circular, and then we'll get started on the next step. So now we're going to make our legs, and the legs that I made for the other one are roughly 10.5 inches. Well, actually they're exactly 10.5 inches, and then what I'm going to do now is put 45-degree cuts on one end of each board, and we're going to do that right now. When we're done, we've got 2 legs that look like this, and now all I did was just go about 1.25 inches, mark a line, and that way I could put my saw blade right on the line, and they'd both be exactly alike. Now we have to have an axle for our legs. This is right here, and the way I made that one is basically I just cut a piece of 2x4 in half, and I measured in between the frame and this, Now my axle here is 19.5 inches. Yours might be a little bit different because you might be using a different thickness of wood for your legs. Some people use 2x4s. I'm using 3/4 inch, and it should be okay. Now we have to put these together. So all I did was put a little glue on the end. Put that right to the edge like that. And now I'll put the screws in. Now we just do the same for the other side. And when you get done, you've got this. So when we put this all together, let's move some of this crap out of the way. This will go down inside here. And you want it to be a little tight, and it will be once this is secured on here with screws. It'll be a little tight, and you want it to be because that's where you're going to store it. But we have to make sure that when this is on the ground, it is the right height. Now, according to some of the rules, it says it has to be 12 inches at the top from the ground. Others say 13.5. Some say between 12 inches and 13.5, no more than that. So I put this one at 13.5 inches. And it's tight, so I'm not going to be able to take it out. But you get the idea. Just decide what you're going to make yours. Because I made this one 13.5 inches, I'm going to make this one 13.5 inches. So basically what I did with this one was just lay it down on the table and stack wood up underneath it to get it to 13 inches exactly, and then screw 13.5 inches, and then screw the legs right directly onto it. So basically I used some scrap wood. This is why you never throw away scrap wood. Just to get an idea where it was, then I took one clamp and clamped it up. So this is going to be exactly 13.5 inches. So, right there. Beautiful. So now I'm going to attach this side, and then I'll do the same thing over there and get that to 13.5 inches and attach that side. Now remember, when you're putting these legs on, make sure that you allow enough room for them to swing in. So they have to be out far enough. This one may not be. I'm going to have to redo this one, but make sure you do that, because if you don't, then they're just going to stay down all the time. Okay, I fixed it. I've moved it ahead a little bit, and now it's still 13.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and secure that side, and then I'll do the other side. Check this, and it's right at 13.5 inches right there. That's close. Now we'll do the other side and we'll be done. And as you can see, they swing. They don't tuck in all the way, but that's okay because the other one didn't either. But that's pretty good. I think that's going to be all right. Now we just have to put the stops on in order to make sure it stays at 13.5 inches. And there's the little stop right there, just a deck screw. So when I take this out, boom, stops right there. And I'll put one on the other side too. And there you have it. That's pretty much finished as far as the carpentry part is concerned. Now the finishing work begins, and that's just a matter of sanding it down and getting it ready to paint. And he's going to actually have a graphic put on the top, so we're just going to fill in the holes and sand it down, and should be done. Now as far as those little stops, I could have used little pieces of wood. That probably would have been better. I also could have used 2x4s instead of the feet that I have on here, but he assured me that nobody is going to be jumping on this, so this should be okay. Another thing you can do, which I probably would do if I did this again, but I wanted to keep the cost down, is I would actually drill holes in here and put wooden pegs and just glue the pegs to the to the frame itself and leave them open back here so that it could pivot. But other than that, I mean, this is a very quick DIY cornhole board.
And now I can say I made a cornhole game. I never thought I'd say those words, but we did. And these things are pretty popular right now. As a matter of fact, I was looking online to see what people were spending on these games. Anywhere from $125 up to $400. And as you can see, it's a pretty simple project. Sometimes, though, they add a lot of graphics and that sort of thing. And they actually have the bags with them, the cornhole bags. But, you know, you can make these yourself, or you can look online and find an old guy like me that, you know, might be able to make one for you. That's exactly what my friend Kevin did. So, you know, he called me, had me do it. I did it a little cheaper than everybody else could do, and I hope he's going to be happy with it. So if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, do all the good YouTube stuff. And if you do subscribe, and I hope you do, hit that notification bell and you won't miss any of the videos. And if you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, and why wouldn't you? I'm a heck of a nice guy. Just go to my coffee page. There is a link in the description. And also the rules to Cornhole is in the description as well. So if you want to know the official rules, I got them. So until next time, for the OG Network, the Old Guy Network, I am the OG, Jay, and I'm out.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
Watch out for your cornhole, bud.
Okay.